Thinking of planning a honeymoon in 2025? Let's talk about some of the top splurge places we're seeing with our clients. Hi, this is Jack with Vacationeeze. Yes, I know you're on a destination wedding YouTube channel, but let's talk about honeymoons. We find that we're working with our clients to plan their destination wedding and at the same time helping them plan their honeymoons. We also plan honeymoons for people that don't work with us for destination weddings, maybe having an at-home wedding or just having an elopement or a honeymoon. Now, there's a lot of people when they do honeymoons, we're doing all-inclusives, Jamaica, islands, Caribbean, Hawaii. In this video, I want to talk to you about some of the trends we and some of my friends are seeing for what I'm going to call splurge honeymoons. Now, here's the thing about honeymoons that I tell people all the time. Honeymoons are about a couple things. First, it's about time. How much time do you have to take off from work to commit to your honeymoon? And number two is money, right? So, and the reason I say that is because when we look at these splurge honeymoons or exotic honeymoons, they may be halfway around the world, so you may be losing 2 days on either side to fly there. And because of that, if you say to us, well, I have 7 days, it doesn't make sense for us to send you someplace that you're going 30 hours each way and flying, and because of the time zones, losing days. So that's why I talk about if you have the money, that's great, but you need the combination of time and money. So let's talk about a couple places. Hot places, the Maldives. So I'm going to link to a video. I was in the Maldives not too long ago. It is beautiful. So if you dream of overwater bungalows on private islands, that's what the Maldives is. You go there, you fly in, and again, it's far to get there. I mean, it probably took us 20 to 30 hours with 2 stops to get there from Philadelphia. But then they take you on a seaplane or a private boat, depending upon which island. But the key is when you're in the Maldives, each resort is on its own island. It's definitely cool. And if you're dreaming of the overwater bungalows, I think the Maldives overwater bungalows are some of my favorites. The water in the Maldives is amazing. If you like fresh fish, there's fish over if you want to snorkel. The key with the Maldives trip is how we can combine that with a stopover. So as an example, depending upon where you're flying from, maybe you want to go to Dubai on the way, or maybe you want to stop in London. So when we work with clients on that Maldives splurge honeymoon, we try to see where we're flying you from, where the stop is, and maybe we can get you a 3 or 4 day stay over where it is. Now let's also talk about another place similar to the Maldives is Tahiti. Now Tahiti has been on a lot of people's lists, but I'm getting a lot of people asking me about it recently. Now here's the thing with the Tahiti. There's a couple different ways to do it. Now the nice thing with the Tahiti is it's only approximately an 8-hour flight from LA. But we have to get you to LA first. So again, the time is, if you're coming from the East Coast, you've got 6 hours to LA, a couple hour change planes, and 8 hours. So again, you do need a full day on either side. Now once you're in Tahiti, you can choose different places to go. So a lot of times we'll do 2 stops. Someone may be going to the main island, Phuket, and that's where you fly into, and then from there, we may go to Bora Bora. We may go to Moorea. You may go to some of the other out islands. But one of my favorite things to do is to do Windstar Cruise Line. Small ship, approximately 250 to 300 people. They have another ship that's only 100 people. And then you're seeing 3 or 4 or 5 of the islands while you're in there. And what I like to do with our clients is have them come in the night before, spend the night in Phuket, maybe in an overwater bungalow there for a night or 2, then hop on the ship, then fly back. If you have time, if you've never been to LA, spend a night or 2 in LA and do some touristy stuff there, and then fly home. Now, if you don't want to do the cruise, and this cruise is nothing like you've ever thought about, it's more of a private yacht experience, then what we do is we will have you stay in an overwater bungalow in one island, maybe in Bora Bora, and then take the ferry over or a seaplane from Bora Bora to Moorea, and there, instead of spending the time in an overwater bungalow, stay on a beachfront bungalow with your own private pool. It also saves a little bit of money, but it's a totally different experience between the overwater and the beachfront. Again, you can definitely do that trip in 10 days. I would say if we're doing the cruises are 7 to 10 days, but I think you want it 4 to 5 days in each island. Now this one is something new for me for honeymoons, safaris. Whether it's Botswana, Tanzania, Nairobi, even in South Africa. So what does that typically involve? Again, if you look at the flights, you are definitely 15 to 20 hours from the US to whether you're going to Joburg, you're going to Kenya, whether you're going to Cape Town. But you will typically do 1 or 2 parks for safari to see the big 5, which are the various animals you want to see, of course, lions, tigers, giraffe, elephant, and rhinos. And you're staying in lodges. You could be glamping, but it's 5-star glamping. What we've done for some clients is we may do Tanzania. You can combine that with Victoria Falls, and then we may bring someone back to Cape Town. And in Cape Town, if you're into wine, there's plenty of wineries within an hour of Cape Town, or you can just do Cape Town and learn about what happened there over the years. Great shopping in Cape Town. Everything is pretty inexpensive. The food scene is there. Just great things to do. But again, it is a 10-day to 2-week trip because of the flights. And every time you take a hop to one of these parks or places, you basically burn a day, even though the flight only may be an hour by the time we're transferring you between hotel and airport. But it is the newest thing I'm hearing from couples that they want to go on safari someplace in Africa. And yes, there's a lot of different places to go. We just have to understand exactly what your budget is, which animals you want to see, and then we can determine if it's more elephants versus orangutans, if it's the waterfalls, and put a perfect safari trip together for you. Now, another off the beat one, which is surprising for me, is Antarctica. So we've had a lot of people for honeymoons. Okay, let me not exaggerate, not a lot, but I'm getting requests for the Arctic Circle as well as Antarctica. So more, what I would say, adventure tourism. You're going to do typically a cruise, but these are small ships. Don't think about these 6,000 passenger Royal Caribbean ships. We were in Greenland not too long ago, and the ship held about 180 people. 5-star, everybody had butlers, 4 restaurants, even though it was a smaller ship. It's an expedition team. You're going off in Zodiacs to see things. But if you've always wanted to see whether it's polar bears, penguins, hiking, the starry sky is just beautiful. If you want to do the polar plunge, again, we're finding more and more people are asking about unique experiences for a honeymoon because it's one of the few times in your life that you truly have time and money. And again, these trips are expensive, but they're very unique. So again, Antarctica as well as the Arctic Circle is something you can think about for your honeymoon. Now, 2 other places that people go all the time in Europe. So let's talk about Italy. This is something it seems like we talk to people about every month. So Italy, it's what I call the Italy 3-stop or 4-stop. So let's talk about Italy. We're typically going to fly someone into Rome, then go over to Florence, and then depending upon what your interests are, you may go up to Venice or you may go down. The latest thing we're hearing from people is Sorrento, Amalfi Coast, Capri, Positano. So it really is customized to you, but most clients will do the 3 stops. It's always Rome, always Florence. What are you seeing? Food, history, churches, museums, food, and food, shopping, fashion, and just amazing things. Now the key with Italy, what I would tell you is if you have the opportunity, you want to do it off season. A lot of people ask me about Italy during June, July, and August. That is peak season. So the thing with peak season is the prices are higher and there's people. You want to go to the Vatican, no matter what you do, there's a line. You want to go to a beach club in the Amalfi, you may have to make a reservation for chairs with the concierge at your hotel. But the key is the hotel prices. If you can go into what we call shoulder season, so the spring or the fall, you can probably save yourself 30%. and it's going to be less crowded. You can get into Michelin star restaurants, you can go into museums without waiting in a 2-hour line. So Italy has always been an amazing place for honeymoons, and we are having people contact us about Italy all the time. And again, it's just multi-stop. And again, that's a 10-day to 2-week trip. Now, the nice thing with Italy is you can typically get non-stop flights from Rome or from the U.S. to Rome non-stop. Philadelphia, New York, L.A., Atlanta, Charlotte, they're all over. So that flight could be 8 hours. So you leave late one afternoon, early one evening, and you're there the next morning. Same thing on the way home. You can leave in the morning and you're home pretty much the same afternoon. So yes, you do have some jet lag, but it's not like some of these other exotic places. I think at the end of the day, when you look at these new trends that we're seeing, yes, it's time and money, but at the end of the day, the key with the honeymoon is I think you want a unique experience. I always tell our clients, on your honeymoon, do something that you're not going to do 2 or 3 years from now that you can do on a long weekend. So when I hear people say they want to go to Jamaica, great, I love Jamaica. But you can fly down to Jamaica for 3 or 4 days for a long weekend. You're not going to go to Antarctica or a safari or do a 3-stop Italy trip for 3 nights. So if you have any ideas what you're thinking for your honeymoon, let us know. We'd be more than happy to talk to you and help you plan that perfect honeymoon. And I'm Jack with Vacationeeze.